Hello! Hi. Hello, everyone. I hope you guys are well. Thank you so much for being here today. We had hello, hi. Thank you so much for being here today. We had some changes. We supposed to do at 12 o'clock, but we had a few problems. I hope you guys received the email with the new information saying we're going to do the workshop right now. Before, I think we're just gonna wait a few minutes before we start. It's okay, Monica?
Yes, of course. Hello, everyone. Good to see you again.
I'm just gonna put a bossa nova, just a bossa nova Brazil, just for 5 minutes. Then we start our live before everyone get in.
My Squarespace site was the catalyst in legitimate.
Olha que coisa mais linda, cheia de graça. É a menina que veio e que passa doce balanço, caminho do mar. Moça do corpo dourado, sol de Panamá.
Oi, Tássila. A gente tá fazendo lá no YouTube. Se você quiser dar uma olhada lá, a link tá lá na minha bio.
Se eu soubesse que quando ela passa me sorrindo, diante de graça, e fica mostrando por causa do amor.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Thank you so much for being here with us. It is such a pleasure to have you guys in our immersion. This immersion called Homestyling Wellbeing. That's the second time we are doing this. We are going to bring you ideas and tools and solutions to improve your time at home, through improving your spaces and well-being through this lockdown without going to be overwhelmed. That's the main idea for we're doing this workshop. I'm your host, Ana Casagrande from Attitude Design. I'm here with Monica Sweeney from Monica Sweeney Coaching and Mentoring. We put it together, the series of workshops, and we're sure this will help you and change your life for good. I will just gonna present myself with the slides here. But hello, Monica, how are you?
Good. How are you, Anna? Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure to work with you during this immersion. And I had a lot of very good feedbacks from last week. Many people messaged me and said that it was really useful, really interesting to understand how they could live better in family and understand about their spaces. But I think they will have more information today about their spaces that you are going to bring to us, isn't it?
Yes, today we're gonna talk about home styling, and because I run this workshop before about home styling, we're gonna do kind of the same workshop with some changes, because today we're gonna be more focused on behaviors and profiles, and you're gonna help me to go a little bit deeper about what is like the type of home styling suitable for behavior and the way the people behave and connect to their home styling. That's the reason why we're doing it again. But we're going to add some changes and add more knowledge as well. I will show you guys. This is us. Just 1 second. Welcome, welcome. Just 1 second. Okay. I will try to open again. I had to close. We are back. Okay, welcome, welcome. Who I am, I think most of you guys know. I'm an architect, diploma interior design and marketing. I love interior design. I work with interior design for 10 years. The place that I worked before was Stock, Isa, Josue, Nespresso, Sunnyfield. This is a little bit who I am. I do love dogs. As you can see, I have dogs everywhere. And I love nature, meditation. I love to be with my friends. I love art museums and how I got inspired and how I feel connected. These are my workshops I ran before. They are my students. I'm very lucky and proud for all of them. I'm very happy because it's such a pleasure to run these workshops. And now, Monica, would you mind to present yourself?
Well, I'm a behavioral profiling specialist. That means that I've been studying about the human behave, and that's my passion, and how our brain works, and the ability that we have to change our lives through changing our thoughts, our brain. So with that, I graduated as a master coach, mentor, NLP master practitioner, and I'm accredited consultant for DISC and Things. And my background is marketing. I've been working in different companies for marketing. Like I worked for Lego for many years, worked for Ford, and I had several business and worked with global mobility, oil and gas. And then I decided to put all in a package that can help you to understand how you can be resilient, change your life. And this is a little bit about who I am as well. So first from left is our new dog, Jax. We just adopted him from a research facility, and he's just a beautiful boy. This green thing you are seeing is the Amazon, where my family comes from, and where actually I come from too. This is you can see my family, my husband, my son, my daughter with her husband Max, and this little one is Eddie. Eddie is our grandson, and he's the son of my stepdaughter, Christine. And my biggest passion is the birds. We see them in the backyard every day. We have like 6 couples. It's amazing. Yeah.
It's so good to be connected to the nature, and like for you, Monica, you was born in Brazil, in in Amazon.
I was born in Sao Paulo, but my father and my mother were born in Manaus, and then we spent a lot of time in the forest during these years.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and be connected to the nature. It is so important.
yeah, yeah.
Just 1 second. I'm having problems with the slides. It's not going the way it's supposed to work, but we can work out on that. Okay. See if it's gonna work again. Okay. What I can do here, we can do this way. Okay. It's gonna be better. Okay, cool. Now stop that. Sorry, guys. Thank you for your patience. No, I appreciate it. I'm so sorry. Sometimes it didn't work the way we wanted. But anyway.
And there's the brain in blue.
Okay, now we'll go. Okay. Okay. When yeah. You guys can see? No, you guys can't. Can you see it? My screen? Yes, right? Okay, cool.
And I'm going to watch with you guys. This is what is the best.
When you're talking about, thank you, Monica. When we're talking about trends and styles, we cannot stop talking about Pantone. Pantone is who decided what is the colors gonna come through this year and what colors we're gonna be using. That's the reason why I put it this color for this year. It's it called Illuminate and Ultimate Gray. That's really funny. I don't know if his Rock is here. I just did his kid's bedroom with these 2 colors. That's really funny. We use like a little bit of green as well. We use like the gray. That's really nice. And talking about interior designs, I don't know if you guys ever heard about it. It's really, really about behavior and how each place in the world they behave and how they consume their home styles. Like basically Art Deco, or like as you can see here in UK, they had a lot of Victorian, as you can see here, the Victorian, and also they have like a little bit of rustic, and they don't have much coastal, because coastal you can see more on here in Australia. It's really famous, the coastal style, and also you can see a little bit of industrial. Why they act like that? Because they had the houses, and these houses they need to be transformed and home, and these homes are quite old, and they had to adapt the style connected to their new living. That's the reason why Victoria, it does like as we can see in Australia as well. It does have a lot of like details, and these details it's you can see on the decoration as well. And the same thing happens to the traditional. And traditional in UK, as you see, the whole culture is connected. They are very polite. They still drinking tea. And we also have this in Australia. That's why I brought this image here. And US, as you can see, they are like a huge country, and they have a different styles. It's very common, the industrial, as you can see, and also the vintage. The industrial, just because they come from the industry, and they transform these industries in home. In Australia, it's really famous. If you go to someone's house, it's famous to find traditional, coastal, and mid-century. As I just comment beforehand, as Australia, we are from UK, and we brought in our DNA a little bit of this traditional taste, this coastal and mid-century. And I'm gonna talk about the Hampton style. The Hampton style. Sorry?
My favorite.
Your favorite, right? And why is your favorite, Monica?
Why?
Yes.
I love these calm colors. I love the space. Blue is one of my favorite colors, and together with this sensation of comfort. I think what the Hampton passed me more is comfort, and a little bit with the coastal, something more rustic, but not rustic. Is let's say a classic rustic, a more traditional. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, it's really funny because the Hampton, they use a really bulky furniture. The name Hampton, it's because it's East End, or called Long Island in New York. It's, of course, was close to the beach, and was a very expensive space to live in New York. And it's how they brought the sea into their homes. And who likes to like this style? It's normally someone who likes the traditional one with a little bit of modernness. And also it's really funny because you like this style, Monica, and you very connect to the nature. And it's kind of, you brought like the nature to your home. We decorated Monica's office, and that's the style we used to decorate her office. This is kind of, we brought like a lot of calmness, as Monica mentioned, the comfort. It's the people who normally likes these styles, they are like a little bit more calm, they're kind of relaxed, and also how like the behaviors can affect. Monica, do you like to add something on that?
When we talk about behavior, and we are going to talk more about that on the next week, on the next live, where I'm going to teach you about the disc profile. And the disc profile, I'm not going into details, but you have like four main styles, which is the D dominant, I influence, S of steadiness, and C of compliant. And these four styles, they actually represent completely different behaviors, but we all have a little bit of each of them in a bigger percentage or smaller percentage. We usually are not very pure one style. So
that's really funny because we can do this exactly the same thing on home styling as well.
Yeah, and that's why we decided to do this together. So you're going to have some knowledge now about the design style, the interior design style, and next week about the behavior style. And then you can put things together ahead. But this style, the Hamptons, they are very much connected to the sea. The sea style, they are very organized. They like clean space. They like everything in the right place. And they like a little bit of comfort because they spend a lot of time at home. I am a high C, so I'm 95% C, and I have a little bit of the S, which is more, is even more traditional than the C. So they probably like houses more Art Deco, colonial, and more family gathering, and everything in the right place as well. But they are more about reunite people, right?
Yeah,
They,
as you
yeah.
can see here, like normally the Hampton, the furniture is quite bulky, and you can put a lot of people in the same space. All the furniture for like Hampton, they are quite long, they are quite big because of the correlated to, as you just mentioned, Monica, to receive people on the same space and celebrating all together.
Yeah, but you see that the S that likes that celebration, and that's my other style is the S. That's why the Hamptons makes my mind. I like it.
It's perfect.
Yeah,
Thank you so much, Monica.
yeah, you're welcome.
Some inspiration as well. Classical and traditional.
Yeah, this is more the S style, the
Yes.
steadiness. Yeah.
Sadness, do you want to say a little bit more about this, the
Yeah, the
S?
steadiness, yeah, they like tradition. Like they like family tradition, they like antiques, they like to be connected with history, with the origin of things. And that's the people that usually have all the family albums of photos and have collections of everything. So
That
yeah.
it's perfect because everything is connected to the classical. As we can see here on the table, it does have like the little details. It's kind of meta and also connected to their memories. And it's who likes to have like even though they are modern and they like modernity, but also they have a very taste in the past because this it's a very traditional one. This is kind of traditional modern. As we can see, it does have like the details on the arms of the sofa or the coffee table. It does have like the feet. They have the paneling here, the mirror. This is that's the type of details it's on the classical style
And
because
the
the
S, sorry.
it's
No, and the S has a lot of family photos as well. So on the wall, so just having one photo of the family is not enough for an S. They have to have the mother, the father, the grandfather, the grandmother, the first house, the first trip. You know, the wedding photos and all the very important photos has to be there for them to look and remember that most of times. Yeah.
and remember they are loved as well. That's really
Yeah.
important, right? Going for the contemporary and modern, that's how the materials it changed completely. They changed it in a way. They went to the industry. That's how you can see a lot of glass. You can see through open spaces have been created, integrate space as well. As you can see on the details, it does on the doors of like the kitchen upstairs. It's a high gloss or you
Mhm.
can see downstairs on the sofa, it's a leather white. It's
Yeah.
very specific. It does have like for me, this style, it's someone who is very practical, someone who'd like to be completely organized, because you, as you can see, if you be disorganized on this house, you can see for all the walls, and it's kind of become really messy.
Yeah. That can be very related also to the C style, that is very organized and very clean. They don't like too many. They are very methodic and detailing people, but they are very practical. So that can easily fit a C style, and maybe a little bit of D, but D is very much into high tech. It's
Yeah,
more
but it's
like,
yeah, I think it's
yeah.
definitely the Monica, because contemporary, it does have like a very high tech materials,
Mm.
high tech technology. In this house, who likes this probably will have like Alexa, or have
Oh,
everything
yeah, IoT,
everywhere.
that everything works on your phone. That's very D. D has to have his phone on the hands all the time. He talks to Google, he talks to Siri, and all the artificial intelligence, everything that is super, super edgy. Yeah.
Yes,
Mm.
it makes total sense. This is a
All
perfect
these.
example of contemporary and modern style. As you can see,
Yeah.
it's the lines are very. It does have like, as you can see the lines. As you can see, the furnitures are quite flat.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's very D and powerful.
and powerful. Yes. Then we're going to Scandinavian.
Mhm.
Scandinavian, it is quite clean. It's kind of it's still modern, but in a way it's cozy. It's comfort. It's the people hang out together, but in a very minimalistic way. The presence of the timber, it's quite strong, and
Yeah.
also the
Mm.
elements for nature.
Yeah, that can be the S as well, because S is nurture. So nurture that comes from nature, and it can very much. And the Scandinavian, they are a very S kind of people. Yeah.
Perfect.
Mm.
Industrial. It's more a masculine style.
Yeah.
As you can see, the furniture, it came from the industry. They try to reutilize and trying to give a new purpose. The up recycling is quite strong to this style, and
Hmm.
of course, it
Hmm.
was born in Bronx on the 80s. But nowadays, you can see everywhere. It does have like a very different ways to work with this style. This is my favorite in my place, as you can see in my background here.
Yeah.
You can see a bookcase with this style. It's
Yeah.
really funny. Now I would like to see your perspective, Monica.
Yeah, no, it can be D and can be I. Let's say if you have more clean, more minimalist, really, that can be more D. But if you have more artwork, then it's going to more to the I style. The
What is the eye, Monica?
I is the most joyful character of the styles. They're very creative. They love music. They love arts. They love to be in the limelight, right? So
That's
if you
me,
don't,
guys.
that's you. Uh, can I say?
Yes,
Anna
of
is
course.
actually D with I. Right? So she's very quick, everything is fast. The D and I, they are very fast paced, and they don't like too many details. They like to be more minimalist, but the D is more focused on the high tech, and more centered in tasks and in themselves. But the I is more centered in the party. To they are great hosts. They love entertaining, and they have to be a place where they can receive people. They need to be among people. So
Yes.
that's why that style can be like a mix. It depends on the accessories that you're going to put. It can
Mm-hmm.
be more I or can be more D. So the less furniture and more sophisticated furniture, there will be more D. Sophisticated in terms of modern, right? The classical is more the S, a little bit of the C. But the more artwork you have in the place, the more I style it could be.
Perfect. Thank you, Monica.
You're welcome.
This is a few ideas how you can be using you can use the industrial style.
Yeah.
And boho, it's about memories. It's
Yes.
someone
Yes.
definitely is about the little details, the memories, how they can transform. It's also very up recycling. That's why nowadays it's quite you see a lot. And also
Mhm.
someone who likes to have plants all around, and kind of the color palette for this type is brown, white, yellow, and green, because the greenish for the trees and kind of outside to inside, that's the same idea, is the same vibe as well. And as you can see, the edges for these tiles, they are quite soft, very differently for the industrial look. They are like a very the edges, they are quite sharp, and they are like very connected to emotions and feelings, and also the feeling of like to have a beautiful bed. As you can see, the texture of like as you can have a blanket, and you can have a light, and these little details on it really matters for this time, Monica.
And can you say that's a question? Can you say that we can consider the boho like the modern hippie?
Yes, definitely,
Because
definitely.
it sounds to me like a modern version of the 70s
Mm-hmm.
and the 80s and beginning of the 80s. So that's how I can tell that it's very much, not a little, but it's very much into the S, which is like you said, about the memories and about the softness, the comfort, and it might have a little bit of everybody in the family, like the patchwork that your grandma did, or the
Mm-hmm.
crochet that the aunt have done, and macrame and all this kind of elements. That this is very much the S, but can be a little bit of I as well, because it's joyful. It's not something like dark. It's something very joyful. So again, depending on the elements that you put in the house, the eye can be very innovative, even with some memories, but the memory is more into S. It's very good. Yes.
Thank you, Monica.
Yeah.
And the retro vintage, it's the kind of extension from the vintage, because the vintage, it can be very dark, but
Mhm.
the retro, they are kind of more fun. And the colors and the transformations of materials. I think like it's so funny, because where I grew up in Brazil, my mom, it changed completely the furniture we had, and just changing the colors, it changed completely and bring this happiness of and you can put it in your space. And also the little details on the feet of like as you can see here, like next to the palette, you can see it does have like the little details on the feet. It's quite very traditional for the vintage. The patterns on the walls, it does have like a lot of memories from trips. like a globe or the kind of in a very vintage look, this kind of earthy tones, and you can play around. Oops. You can play around with everything you have, I don't know, here in Australia, they normally go through the mid-century. They don't go much to vintage. But in Brazil, we use vintage and this retro vibe a lot. Monica?
Yeah, this is very much a mix between the I and the S. The S because of the memories, because you always have a furniture that somebody gave you or you bought on a trip or something like that. But the I is the life of the party, and they love colors, they love arts, and they love this mix of styles that brings you joy. So when you talk about bring joy, it's usually a eye on the picture. Yeah. Like my friend Anna.
Thank you, Monica. Shabby chic.
Mhm.
As you can see, it does have like a very traditional way to do the design, and also extremely feminine.
Mhm.
The color palettes, it go for the candy colors. It was and also you can say provincial. The French provision and the shabby chic, they are very similar to one another because
Mhm.
on the 800s in the past in French, they used to receive a lot of people to have like the morning tea. And as you can imagine, this the first table you have like a big reunion, the big family all together. On the image, you can see the little dog there. It does
Mhm.
have like a lot of lace, a lot of layers as well, with a lot of details.
Yeah.
If you like, I strongly recommend who likes this type of style. They can go for someone it's more commercial, or a single woman who lives by herself, or
Mhm.
a man who are very specific and who likes that style. Normally, men doesn't like this style, but that's my recommendation. Monica?
It's interesting because this is very much the S is about again receiving people, put everyone together, having this warm feeling, this warm environment, and you see the many fabrics there. Everything has a detail on the caring is like wrapping you up in a warm hug. So that's very much the yes. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
it's
really funny,
lovely.
Monica, you
Mhm.
saying that because nowadays I don't have a preference between styles. But this one was my last favorite. Like that's the
Mhm.
style I would never ever had in my space.
Mm.
It's because as we talked before, guys, I don't have like S in my like I did a kind of the test, and we're gonna talk more next week. But like it's so funny because these little details is kind of freak me out. And now I understand why it's
Yeah.
freaked me out, and I don't have anything of like these details. The things I like something more bulky and really connected to my personality, and that's why we decided to bring this to you guys.
It is interesting as well because this style is very much connected to the mother and how the mother receives, that very caring maternal figure. Doesn't need to be your mom, but can be your grandma, can be someone that is very caring, that the house is the most important place for them. They always have a little cake or, the tea or a nice coffee, something
Yes.
that will make it home. So this
Hmm.
homey environment is so much connected to the steadiness style. It's Yeah,
It's
fantastic.
really nice.
Mm.
And the farmhouse,
Mhm.
also my second favorite style. I love the farmhouse. It's very similar to the industrial, but it's kind of now whited in a white way.
Yeah.
Because the farmhouse, they still have some bulky furniture. The up recycling is also very present. The color palettes is going for creamy, timber, and a little bit of gold, and a little details in black as well.
Mhm.
It's a strong presence of marble, um, and it's very rustic. It bring you guys a very cozy environment. I just can imagine like sitting on that sofa and just enjoying a cup of tea, and it's a space where you feel it needs to have a big space. That's why it came from the farm. There's a little bit of history. They had this furniture in the farm, and they had no idea what they are going to be using with this furniture. And that's the reason why they decided to bring this furniture through the house and trying to allocate it. Normally, farmhouses, they had a lot of spaces. That's why the furniture used to be is quite big. And on the farmhouse is kind of a space where you're going to receive your friends and your family as well. Monica?
Yeah, the farm style, they can be a little bit of all the styles. Again, it will all depend on the accessories that you use, depending on the function. When you talk about being functional, you are talking C and D, right? When you are talking more about a cozy space and receiving people, is more like S. And when you're talking about entertainment, you're talking more about the I style. But it will depend. An environment like this one that you are showing, for example, it can be C, it can be S. Um, if
And this
it's
one is
high
kind of a
tech,
mix of styles, right? This
yeah,
one is kind of
yeah.
that's I think that's a lot of people love the farmhouse.
Yeah, yeah, I like that too. Yeah, very good.
Yeah, and I think this style it goes to everyone because it does have like as you can see, a few furniture they are quite traditional, a few furniture they are quite heavy.
Yeah,
This have like elements for the nature. That's why it's quite common at the moment, and everyone
yeah.
feel connected to this style.
And this style can also have all these features and have high technology on
Hmm.
that. And a lot
That's
of people are using this style with a high technology thing, like that you click and the lights are on, or it's on, you program on your phone, and that's on. So it can be a house of a D. But let's say if a D is married to a C, it will work well, or with a S that can work very well as well. So
that's
it's a
true.
style that can combine, that can be, let's say, accommodating of different styles. So for a couple that have very different behavior styles, that could be a style that will go well.
Yeah, that's true. Perfect. Thank you, Monica.
You're welcome.
And just a pop quiz. Uh, I'm just gonna put it here. I think you, Monica,
Oh, me, I'm the guinea pig.
or someone is watching us. You
Oh
can
my
pop up on
God.
the
So I have to guess the styles, is that right?
yes,
Oh my
yes.
God, with all these variations, I don't know if I'm gonna make all, but let's see. From the left hand side, it's more
No,
like
they are like the whole image. It's from
the
one
whole
side.
image, I think is more like boho.
Very good. Well done, Monica.
Yay! Yay!
Yeah.
Uh,
Well done. Yes. Then how about this one?
this is it can be Hampton. Yeah. Coastal.
Yes.
Yeah, almost.
Okay.
The last minute.
Very good. Very good. How about this one?
Oh, this is the modern.
Modern, contemporary. Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. And
Ta-da.
this,
Oh, this is the provincial. Or the how do you call the provincial? It's
it can be shabby chic and also
shabby.
classical.
The classical. All right, okay. It is classical.
Yes. And just a question, how you can apply it to your life? Because that's the main purpose for this workshop. And also the other reason why we're doing this workshop, and how do you apply to your life, and how you can talk to someone who lives with you and have a very different style than yourself. Because the main idea here is to make a space that you live in a comfortable way where you feel happy and combined with your family as well. That's why I brought Monica here today, guys, to explain a little bit of like the behaviors and how each one works and how each one thinks is strong and connected to their home styling in their home, like, and how they feel at home. Sometimes what happened, they have very opposite styles. It can be because they have a very opposite behaviors. And normally we don't get married with someone it's very similar to us. We get married and have a relationship with someone it's very different. With these tips, you guys can start realign what your style, what's your husband, your wife, everyone who lives in your environment, and is trying to apply by yourself. It doesn't need to be completely the one style, because us
Yeah.
ourselves, we have different, we can have a kind of a mix between styles, and you just have to use a little bit of one, a little bit of other one, but they have to be connected to the whole thing.
Yeah, it's like
Monica,
what we did here, isn't it, Anna? We have to combine like a more classical style with my husband and a
yes,
more like
yeah, Hamilton, yeah, yeah.
in coastal with me. So as we are more close to the mountains than to the beach, so I thought we could do something more discreet. So then this area where I am, that Anna decorated, don't know if you can see, and I won't be able to show you, but she did a great job to do some of these mix. And we had another lounge room that is more classic, with the fireplace, with the leather couches, and more to satisfy the rest of the family, which is a bit D as well, but it's very D with S, which is more classical, but needs to be something more imponent and more powerful. And mine is more comfort, more calmness. But sometimes he comes here to feel more calm too.
Yeah, it's so funny how like different like you guys did, like in your space you did like a more coastal, and his space we put it more traditional,
Yeah,
and he goes to your space to feel more calm,
yeah.
and probably you
With
go
my
there.
essential oils and my
That's perfect. Thank you
Mhm.
so much, Monica, for
You're
today. It was
welcome.
amazing having, like, sharing our knowledge all together, because I think our jobs, like myself as interior designer, I have to understand about my clients, how they behave, and you have been a very huge help making me to understand to use with my clients. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for your
You're
time and
welcome,
being here
Anna.
with me.
And just to reinforce, the next week I will tell you more about the disc styles, and I'm going to show you exactly how it works. How can you identify your style, the style of your loved ones, husband, kids, mom, dads, and I think you're gonna like it.
It's gonna be a lot of fun. I cannot wait. Thank you so much
You're
for being
welcome.
here
Thank you,
today,
guys. It was a
everyone.
pleasure.
If you guys
being
are
here.
watching, please comment. And if you're not subscribed to our channel, just subscribe. It's such a pleasure to have everyone here with us.
Bye for
Bye.
now.